Armada Gaming.
Oh, very excited for this. This is going to be good stuff. And most importantly, I'm going to be here for this one. And that is just great on my end.
Looks like the players are ready. We are ready, Danny. At least I hope you're ready.
Oh, so ready for this. Thunderdog, Top Dog, Season 2, Week 2, Game 3. It would have been better if it was Game 2.
Oh
well. What are you going to do?
I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to play the intro. Bam! Alright, enough with being extremely loud with that intro. We are back at Polar Knights Ladder Edition, it looks like. And, Danny, we have a GM out here for Saga City. They're going hard.
Very excited. One of those try-hard GMs.
Alright, introducing our Blue Terran player from Armada Gaming with a nice little floating decal over here. We have ShuriKn. On the top side of Polar Knights, Saga City's Grandmaster player, the Red Zerg player, Red.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, Polar Knights, I don't like this map, Danny. It's too white for me. It makes Protoss units really hard to see. But hey, in this matchup, I don't think we're going to have to worry about that.
I do believe that we will not see any Protoss units if, both these players do not call upon their Protoss brethren from outer space to warp themselves in, which I don't think is allowed by Blizzard, so I think we're going to be okay.
I almost half expect a old school mothership recall just to be in like the center of the map and just two armies split off and just steamroll both sides. That would be great.
I would love just a massive vortex right in the middle of an engagement, just to shake things up.
It's like, well, who's going to win? Are there wheel mines in there? Oh, dude. Just think.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Just think old school vortex with widow mines instead of archons. How awful. Oh god. No, we've used banelings before. I've used banelings before in a vortex, and it's a sight of green explosive beauty when you're the banelings. Green explosive pain when you're not the banelings.
Yes, and the good news is nothing too interesting is happening in the game, so we can explore these advanced StarCraft topics, as it looks like ShuriKn, I believe, is just going to have enough gas for a Reaper as soon as that is done, and we'll most likely use that just for a bit of light scouting, but not a whole lot else going on, except that Red still doesn't have a pool.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Red went for our super early extractor, forgot his pool, but it looks like he's kind of timing it. We might see a bit of a baneling push in here. The gas being started right as the natural being thrown down for Red. So we're going to need to see some scouting for our Blue Terran player ShuriKn.
Yes, and the bad news is I believe this Reaper, if it heads directly across the map, will be there approximately when the spawning pool is done. Now the bad news is that means no queen for Red, so this Reaper is going to be very annoying. May get one, maybe two drones is kind of what you would expect. We'll have to see if it gets any more than that, but that seems about right for how this is going to shake down.
Well, if Red pays attention and ShuriKn doesn't pay attention, that rally point's set right through the mineral line for Red, so we might see a little bit of a worker pull, but it looks like ShuriKn's actually controlling the Reaper, so he sees the natural, he sees queens are coming out, a little dance from the hatchery, but he also sees that there's still no queens out. So Red's going to have to pull back these workers. He's going to have to morph them. He's going to have to spend minerals just to save the workers. But there's a couple Zerglings out now, and they're going to try and chase away this Reaper.
Yeah, and the Reaper should be able to deal with those pretty easily with a little bit of micro, as we see going on here. But now two more, and hopefully all of this will be okay. But remember that drone at the top that's morphing that Spore Crawler, when that comes out, will still be extremely low. And never mind, he just lets it finish into a Spore Crawler.
A little bit of preemptive defenses, a little too distracted by the Reaper. Hey, at least he will be safe from drops later on.
Yeah, you know it. No invisible units here, and it looks like these Reapers are both going to get out.
Oh, and ShuriKn showing a little bit of Marine King Prime-esque, throwing down a quick third command center. At least I think that's Marine King, right?
Oh, yes, and Red also has now killed two maybe, not that SCV.
Scoot, SCV, scoot! The Reapers are here. command center will get down, but it was extremely delayed by those Zerglings. Really good play from Red counterattacking like that, putting the pressure. Oh, he actually manages to kill a Reaper as well, and Speed just finished. And there's a starport coming out.
Zerglings coming down,
Ooh.
and he's going to get another SCV. This command center is still not done. Now this Reaper is going to be chased down, and more Lings are going to come in, and he cannot get that stinking command center to finish.
Notice the game's lagging a little bit. I'm not sure if that's a connection issue or a BattleNet issue, but workers are being pulled from ShuriKn. He's at a bit of a bind. Hellions are out. They should be able to clean this up as long as those SCVs do protect these Hellions. At least some. At least heal.
Oh, and he's got plenty of Zerglings in, and he's doing a ton of damage. He takes out every single one of those SCVs. He is now up to 9 SCV kills, and this will be 10. With just a little bit of Zergling pressure, Red is just going to town.
Red showing us why he's GM right now, just because of these Zerglings control. And, man, are you getting a lot of lag at your end, Danny? Because I'm kind of stuttering over here.
I am not. It seems pretty smooth on my end, unfortunately for you. I hope that does not continue. But at least for the time being, if you look at just the supply right now, Red doubling ShuriKn's supply, and this early into a game, 7 minutes, 30 seconds in, and ShuriKn is at 24 supply. That is not the best place to be. He is now down to 15 SCVs.
Oh, that is definitely not good. He pulled a lot of workers to try and deal with those Zerglings, and losing those 2 Hellions with it, not the best outcome. Although he did manage to get it up, it was extremely delayed, and there's still more Zerglings pecking at these SCVs at the natural. Where's the bunker?
He's so frustrated right now, losing another SCV and just the lost mining time. He's got these mules which are going to town, but I'm not quite sure. It's definitely not enough to make up the differential between the two. Now he gets good scouting information. Luckily, ShuriKn having that third command center can really pump out those SCVs, but right now, let's see, Red has a definite lead, and the minerals are about even, but the gas heavily in favor of Red.
Oh, this third command center is actually showing its use, as it's actually allowing ShuriKn to catch back up in the supply. It's no longer being doubled right now, and he's making 3 SCVs at a time. Although Red still does have 48 drones to... Oh, another worker just died. There's more Zergling run-bys. to the 19 workers now of ShuriKn. ShuriKn's just being taken apart by little Zergling run-bys.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Never got this wall up, and now he sees that there is the Banshee coming in, I believe. Let me double-check this for you. And yes, he did see the starport with the tech lab, so these cloaked Banshees are going to come at absolutely no surprise whatsoever. That Spore Crawler that he accidentally made early in the game being of tons of use.
Oh, actually managing to get a drone before it was able to morph into a Spore Crawler, and man, what is wrong with my computer? Seem to be having some technical difficulties on my end, to everyone watching. And we have a Spire coming up for Red, Danny.
Yeah, and that's going to be a great transition because right now ShuriKn's army consists of Hellions and Banshees and 2 Marines, which Marines are pretty good but not great. But ShuriKn immediately is now throwing on 3 barracks, so may be able to have some Marines out in time, but it's going to be a little close.
It will be extremely close, but yeah, like you were saying earlier, that useless Spore Crawler definitely managed to help, and Red's actually walking up his workers a little bit. He had way too many at his natural, trying to pull some over, but looks like he's just using these Cloaked Banshees and Hellions to just try and steamroll Red. Red really doesn't have much of an answer.
Yes, now luckily he's got that Spine Crawler at the front, which does really well against Hellions. He's going to target down the light ones, and the Spore Crawler is going to go down.
Oh,
and
the drones!
He's starting with drones!
Oh, the drones all bunched up right there, and it could have been a huge hit for ShuriKn, but the Spire is done now, so these Banshees should be cleaned up relatively quickly as another Banshee comes into its death. There was an Overseer. There he is. He's hovering over drones for some reason, not actually helping kill this Banshee. As 4 mutalisks are being made, not a lot of minerals for Red here. He invested a lot in that early circling pressure.
Yeah, and he has 46 drones now. Luckily, ShuriKn was able to kill off some, reduce that down. Now it's 35 to 46 as he just lost another one to Ling run-bys. Story of this game thus far, I think a worker got stuck on the outside, but he's going to have a lot of trouble establishing a third base now that Red's got Mutalisks out on the map, which just chased down a Banshee and all of these Ling run-bys and things. Right now, ShuriKn, finally with that wall, may for the first time be feeling somewhat safe inside his own walls.
Oh, it's about time. All those early Ling run-bys killing so many workers, but that Hellion Banshee attack from ShuriKn evened out the numbers pretty well. There's 44 workers now for ShuriKn, 52 for Red. Red's actually a little bit under there, and a Baneling Nest is coming up, and Widow Mines are starting to be produced 2 at a time.
Yep, and we're going to see a good transition to Bio here as 3 reactors just finished for ShuriKn. He's going to throw down 2 more racks, and keep in mind he's had this 3rd in his main for pretty much the whole game here. Now tons of Mutalisks are going to come in. There are a good spread of missile turrets here, and he decides he does not want to fight that at all.
Oh, it would not be very wise to use only a handful of Mutalisks to fight 1 missile turret. He does have 8, but the 24 damage, 2 attacks, 12 damage each, 7 range. Those tear through Mutalisk pretty quickly, and Red's actually gearing up to take the safe base.
And it looks like, yes, he is going to take that back behind, and I'm surprised that ShuriKn hasn't tried it as well with these Mutalisks coming in. He's going to try to pick off his gas guys. They're super annoying. Able to get a couple of workers here, too, but having to rebuild those gas things is really tough.
Rebuilding the gas thing is going to be a little bit of a problem. More workers are dying to the bounce of the glaive worms that the Mutalisks shoot. Very, very handy when stuff's trying to be repaired, especially on missile turrets.
Yes, as a Protoss player with those zealots, hammering away and not targeting the SCVs. How many times you've seen those go down to planetaries where a whole ring of SCVs are around, and the targeting, the way the AI works, just does not target those down. So now he's got even more Mutalisks, and he may try to take this fight. And ShuriKn's feeling a little uneasy because he's throwing down another missile turret.
Oh, probably a smart decision, although we should just see more Marines coming out. There are not a critical amount of Marines to be able to deal with all these Mutalisks right now. There are no upgrades for the Mutalisks. So 1 attack is done for the Mutalisks, while only 1 attack is done for the Marines. Danny, Marines don't have combat shields or stim yet.
And that's getting to be very rough. ShuriKn's been a little bit behind this whole time, and now this Mutaclump with 6 more on the way. And as you see in chat, there is a Thor incoming as some of the other commentators who are in the game, the observers, chiming in with their thoughts. And there are some Widow Mines here, and he's in a little bit of a dangerous clump.
There's Thor coming out right now. And Viper's actually the manager of Saga, and he's just kind of like narrating the game for himself, I suppose. But the 3rd base is trying to be taken by ShuriKn. That's why he was moving out, not to necessarily kill anything. But I'm not sure if Red realizes... Oh, Stim did just finish, didn't it? Yep, it did.
Yes, and ShuriKn has some of his Widow Mines, and a haste to kind of get him down are clumping up quite a little bit. It can be a little bit rough for him, as now he's just going to harass this 3rd base. And again, this is the part where I said ShuriKn is going to be really tough for him. Sacrificing Mutas to take out the 3rd, not a bad choice.
Oh, on the structure tab, there are only 2 orbitals still up, though, so there's no 3rd one not even being made, and there's Hellbats coming out. An interesting choice against the heavy amount of Banelings that are out on the field now for Red.
Yeah, if we're just looking at the mineral amounts, it's a little rough. Oh, and now Red going into the main, taking down the command center. I think ShuriKn may just feel that he needs to go all in from this point.
Oh, ShuriKn had a nice line of Widow Mines lined up to take out a whole army from Red, but Red managed to use his Banelings to detonate on top of those. They actually died. Oh, yeah, those Widow Mines are burrowing underneath a Spore Crawler. This isn't going to be good. I'm pretty sure Widow Mines can't target. That ShuriKn GG's as those Mutalisks just completely tear up the main base for ShuriKn. Red takes a victory for Saga City.